The draft is now over. How are teams shaping up?
You have high expectations for the Colts?
I definitely think so. I mean, in their division, they're competing with the Titans.
With draft weekend now over, our attention turns to minicamp and OTAs. So, here's where all 32 NFL teams stack up in our post-draft edition of the Power Rankings. Number 32, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 29. The Jaguars made the interesting choice to select Travon Walker first overall instead of a more polished prospect like Aiden Hutchinson or Sauce Gardner. Trading up to get Devin Lloyd 27th overall was brilliant, but the rest of the Jaguars draft left quite a bit to be desired. Number 31, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 27. The Panthers did very well at the draft given their limited number of picks. Taking Ike Mekwonu 6 overall was a no-brainer, and trading up for QB Matt Corral at number 94 overall gives this team some hope at the quarterback position going forward. In an ideal world, the Panthers bring in a veteran starter to compete with Corral for the starting job, because we know Sam Darnold isn't it. Number 30, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 32. The GM Nick Caserio came away with 5 guys who could realistically start on day 1. Derek Stingley Jr., Kenyon Green, and Jalen Petrie should all excel in Lovie Smith's defense. If he stays healthy, John Mechie can slot in as a quality number 2 wideout beside Brandon Cooks. A lot of holes on this roster do remain, and they still aren't ready to contend, but the long-term outlook is very promising in Houston. Number 29, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 31. Well, this sure was a draft to love if you're a Falcons fan. Drake London and Kyle Pitts are gonna be a scary good pass-catching duo for years to come. No clue how Desmond Ridder fell to Atlanta in round 3, but hey, there's a potential QB of the future that Falcons fans have wanted for a while now. Hey, take a bow, Terry Fontenot. This was magnificent work. Number 28, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 26. It feels weird praising the Giants in a draft-related article, but such is life when you have Joe Shane running the show instead of Dave Gettleman. Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari give the G-men 2 prolific edge rushers to build around long-term. Meanwhile, New York's other first-round selection, Evan Neal, will immediately upgrade one of the league's worst offensive lines. Number 27, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 28. The Lions didn't have the top pick in the draft, but they still came away with the top player on many people's boards in Aiden Hutchinson. The Michigan product and Plymouth native now has the chance to reverse the fortunes of his hometown team. Even if the price was high, gotta love the aggressive move to get Jameson Williams at number 12 overall. With Williams, TJ Hawkinson, and Amon-Ra St. Brown in the fold, Jared Goff now has a chance to prove himself as the starter beyond 2022. Number 26, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 30. Bravo to the Jets, who came away with 4 Week 1 starters within the first 36 selections. Ahmad Sauce Gardner was the crown jewel of this haul, but Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson II, and Breece Hall will all produce immediately as well. Number 25, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 25. Why didn't the Seahawks draft like this when they had Russell Wilson? Charles Cross is the stalwart that Wilson could have used on that O-line all those years. Edge rusher Boye Mafe and corners Kobe Bryant, love the name, and Tariq Woolen will bring much-needed juice to a lousy defense. Number 24, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 24. On one hand, the Bears got great value by nabbing Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker in round 2. And Velus Jones is a crafty do-it-all weapon who will contribute on offense and special teams. But, why did the Bears avoid offensive linemen until round 5? Number 23, Washington Commanders. Last time's ranking, 23. Smart on Washington to prioritize wide receiver in round 1. Jahan Dotson will be the ideal complement to Terry McLaurin. And if the latter doesn't stay in DC long-term, the Commanders at least have his replacement already lined up. Great value by snagging Sam Howell in the number 144 spot. Number 22, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 21. Kevin Colbert's final draft as the Steelers GM was a good one. He stayed patient throughout and hit home runs in the first 3 rounds. Getting Kenny Pickett at number 20 overall was a dream scenario. He can sit behind Mitch Trubisky for a year or 2 before taking the reins, or Pickett can win the starting job right away. Either will do. Georgia wideout George Pickens was a great value pick. And DeMarvin Leal, who was taken around 3, only adds more strength to an already dangerous front 7. Number 21, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 20. No first-round pick for the Colts, but GM Chris Ballard found good value in Cincinnati wideout Alec Pierce and and Central Michigan offensive tackle Bernard Raymond. More support incoming for newcomer Matt Ryan. Can't complain about that if you're an Indy fan. Number 20, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 22. How many times have we brought up the Vikings' need to fix the secondary? And hey, they did just that with the Lewis Cine and Andrew Booth Jr. picks. And this is after they signed Zadarius Smith in free agency. So at least on paper, this Vikings defense looks a whole lot better. Number 19, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 12. We hate questioning Bill Belichick, but why reach for Cole Strange in round 1 and Tyquan Thornton in round 2 when you could have easily traded down for them? The Patriots still haven't done anything to fix up an aging front 7 that needs more speed and athleticism. Marcus Jones was a nice find in round 3, but you just can't expect him to step in and replace Pro Bowler J.C. Jackson. The disappointing offseason continues for the Patriots. Number 18, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 16. Nick Bonito was the highlight of the Broncos draft class. The Oklahoma edge rusher fills a major void on the defensive line and should start right away. Not sure if anyone from this haul outside of Bonito will start much in 2022, but that's not surprising after they traded away all those draft picks for Russell Wilson. Number 17, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 18. We don't get the criticism of the Saints going in win-now mode this offseason. Chris Olave will be the number 2 wideout they've been lacking behind Michael Thomas all these years. Trevor Penning is a younger, cheaper, and healthier replacement for the departed Taron Armstead. After the draft, the Saints signed Tyrann Mathieu. They certainly have the pieces in place to go on a deep run in 2022. Number 16, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 14. Taking Tyler Smith at number 24 was a reach, but the Cowboys had to address the offensive line early. Love the pickup of South Alabama wideout Jalen Tolbert in the number 88 slot. He could be an immediate impact player in that Dallas offense. Number 15, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 17. The Cards traded their first rounder to the Ravens for Marquise Brown, who's coming off his first 1,000-yard season. He'll now go from a run-first offense in Baltimore to a more potent aerial attack in Arizona. The selection of Trey McBride, the top tight end in this class at number 55 overall, was pure brilliance. The Redbirds have refueled their already potent offense and should be even better in 2022. At least we think. Number 14, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 15. The Raiders didn't pick until 90th overall because of the Devontae Adams trade, but they found a likely day 1 starter in Memphis guard Dylan Parham with their top pick. And Georgia RB Zamir White should be a nice compliment to Josh Jacobs. Number 13, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 13. Miami only had 4 draft picks this year after trading up for Jalen Waddle in 2021 and adding Tyreek Hill in a blockbuster trade this offseason. Not sure if any of their picks will be starters in 2022, but who cares? The Dolphins threw all their chips in the middle of the table and want to win now with Tua Tagovailoa. Can't fault them for that. Number 12, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 10. The Titans pulled off a stunner by dealing star wideout A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles for the number 18 pick, which they ended up using on Arkansas receiver Treylon Burks. Honestly, we would have just paid Brown what he's worth, but who knows, maybe Burks will fill that void. Roger McCreary, the number 35 pick, should immediately boost that already deep secondary that will welcome back Caleb Farley next year. And how did Malik Willis fall all the way down to them in the number 86 spot? Ryan Tannehill is the starter for now, but don't blame us for dreaming of a Willis-Derrick Henry combo in that backfield someday. Number 11, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 19. Welp, the Eagles just went from playoff bubble team to Super Bowl sleeper. Philly traded up for one-man wrecking machine Jordan Davis. Then they traded the number 18 pick to Tennessee in exchange for the aforementioned A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts now gets to throw to both Brown and Devontae Smith. How is that fair? Widely projected first-rounder Nakobe Dean fell to the Eagles in the number 83 spot, which is beyond comprehension. A wonderful weekend for Howie Roseman, who now has Philly in the driver's seat to take over the NFC East. Number 10, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 9. Zion Johnson was the ideal pick for the Chargers at number 17 overall. The O-line rapidly improved with the arrivals of Rashawn Slater and Corey Linsley in 2021, and now they have a powerful guard in Johnson to shore up the interior offensive line. Thanks to a tremendous offseason by GM Tom Telesco, all of the pieces are now in place for the Bolts to take that next step in 2022. Number 9, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 11. The Deshaun Watson trade left the Browns without any picks in the top 67. Mississippi State corner Martin Emerson was a good find in the 68th spot, but our favorite Browns pick here was Purdue wideout David Bell at number 99 overall. With Bell and Amari Cooper now in the fold, the Browns have addressed their pressing need for receivers. Number 8, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 7. The 49ers found an explosive pass rusher in USC product Drake Jackson, who fell to them at number 61. Jackson should flourish in a front seven that already boasts Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and Eric Armstead. However, it was surprising to see them take LSU running back Tyron Davis-Price in round 3, given the excellent depth that they already have at the position. Number 7, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 8. No clue how Kyle Hamilton fell to Baltimore in the 14th spot. That was the best value pick of this draft by far. Also, getting Tyler Linderbaum to shore up your O-line after dealing away Marquise Brown worked out to be a fine trade-off, if you ask us. David Ojabo may not play in 2022 as he recovers from a torn Achilles, but he has all the makings to be a very impactful starter in Baltimore once he does take to the field. Number 6, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 6. As you saw in February, draft picks aren't really the Los Angeles Rams' thing. And having won Super Bowl 56, why should they care about working long hours over the draft weekend? Wisconsin guard Logan Bruss was an enticing pick in the 104th spot. The way the Rams develop their offensive linemen, we're sure Bruss will eventually grow into a reliable starter there. Number 5, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 4. Jason Licht did a good job in addressing the Bucs' main needs. Logan Hall adds more beef to a powerful front seven, Luke Gadecki fills the remaining void at guard, and Rachaad White can form a nice 1-2 duo with Leonard Fournette in the backfield. Number 4, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 5. It was easy to question the Packers' decision to double down on defense in round 1. But only for one day. Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt bring more muscle to one of the league's top defensive units. On day 2, Green Bay moved up and took North Dakota State wideout Christian Watson at number 34 overall, finally giving Aaron Rodgers some much-needed help after losing Devontae Adams and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Number 3, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 3. With all the top offensive line prospects off the board, the Bengals wisely turned their focus to their next main need, the secondary. Michigan star Daxton Hill should do wonders in that defense, giving the reigning AFC champs another playmaking defensive back to help cut down on the big plays. Nebraska corner Cam Taylor-Britt, who was taken in round 2, may not start right away, but he at least provides some valuable depth at the position. Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 2. If the Ravens weren't the main winners of the 2022 draft, then it was the Chiefs. GM Brett Veach worked his magic and found a new lockdown corner in Trent McDuffie at number 21 overall. Focusing again on defense, he scored incredible value by getting George Karlaftis at number 30 overall. There's the much-needed defensive end KC needed to complement Frank Clark and Chris Jones. Oh, and the KC needs a receiver crowd finally got to relax when Veach took Sky Moore in round 2. Number 1, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 1. We kept saying how the Bills needed another lockdown corner to help Tre'Davious White. Well, Florida product Kyer Elam will do just fine, thank you. We don't always like taking running backs in early rounds, but nabbing James Cook at number 63 overall was absolutely necessary. Cook should finally give Buffalo a true workhorse to take some of the load off of Josh Allen. Another incredible offseason by Brandon Beane has the Bills as the team to beat heading into 2022. But who do you think is the team to beat following the NFL draft? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.